trying to get home and getting a call to our cabin to say, we've booked you on for this flight. I think it was like the 26th of April. I was like, yeah, I'm coming home. I've got a flight, and me and Matt are both going to be going together. We just kept getting like let down and disappointed, and it started to get so frustrating and draining because we were just so worried about like, when are we going to be home? The beginning of May, they started talking about a different way of getting crew home by doing ship repatriation and sailing some ships over to certain countries. So I was like, this is amazing. I don't have to worry about being at risk in an airport and sitting next to someone on a plane that I don't know. That flight that I got offered was for the 28th of April, but the CDC didn't approve it. We kept going on as normal and we just kept waiting it out. On the 16th of May, it was confirmed that all the UK citizens and European crew would be placed on one of 3 ships and we'd be sailing over to the UK, to Southampton, which was great for the Brits because you didn't have to fly anywhere. At first, I think Matt was put on a different ship to me, so we requested to be together, and the HR team on board were absolutely amazing and they managed to put us together. I took this video on the 17th of May because I wanted to document, just in case I look back one day, to see what I'd been through. After 50 days of living in this cabin, a month of being isolated away from Matt, 3 weeks of living in here with Matt, tomorrow morning we will finally be signing off the Symphony. I've lived on the ship for 10.5 months and we're moving on to the Majesty tomorrow morning to begin our next part of our travel to get home. Hopefully, if all goes to plan, we'll be sailing over to Southampton. So, fingers crossed all goes ahead, and I can't wait to be home in the next few weeks. After trying to get home for 2 months and being stuck on the ship for nearly 60 days now without stepping on land. I'll get to step on a port tomorrow. It's not really land because it's just in the middle of the ocean, but fingers crossed I'll be able to step on land soon and be with my family and see my family. So yeah. So even like after that, we didn't really like get our hopes up because we were just so used to like things being cancelled last minute. So it was hard to get excited about the fact that we'd be sailing over to the UK, and it was an amazing experience, but it didn't feel real. It just felt like, oh, here we go. When we got onto Majesty, there was a lot of crew from a lot of different ships on there, so we didn't really know how safe it would be because we felt so safe in that bubble of all of the people from the crew that we knew on Symphony, and nobody had symptoms. But then after a couple of hours of just like gauging it and walking around, we all kind of realised that we were all in the same position and we all had been self-isolated and none of us had symptoms, so it felt safe and we hadn't been in contact with anyone. That 2 weeks was really different. The ship is a lot older than Symphony. Symphony's cabins are much nicer and bigger, but it was really cute. I was very lucky, I got a window in mine. My boyfriend and I were also put in the same cabin together again on Majesty. We found ways to keep ourselves busy. All of the Symphony crew arranged fitness classes to do every day. I didn't do all of them personally, but I did hold a ballet class, and I found this gorgeous area that had a pole that we could use as the bar. The food options on Majesty were great. There was 2 restaurants that we could go to. It was a completely different environment. You were able to sit down in the bar there. It was a lot more chill. On the last few days before we signed off the Symphony, we started eating in the Windjammer, which is a buffet, but you weren't allowed to take anything yourself. Everything is handed to you, and that's the same on Majesty. You asked for whatever you wanted and you held out your plate and they put it on there for you, so that not everyone's touching all of the serving spoons. We celebrated our 3-year anniversary together on the Majesty, and it was really nice because originally Matt was supposed to still be working on the Symphony on that date and I would have been at home, so we wouldn't have been together for our anniversary. So we made the most out of it, even though we couldn't really do much. We had a nice walk around the ship. We sat at the back of the ship together. We went to just one of the restaurants. And then we arrived back into Southampton on the 1st of June, as expected. and I was just so excited to see my mum and dad. I cried so much when I saw them. There was some complications with whether Matt was going to be able to stay in the UK because of border control and stuff, but all went well. It turned out good. They allowed him to stay in the UK. For some nationalities, they weren't allowing them to stay in the UK. We came home and my nana and granddad were in the garden. My sister was here and they arranged a big welcome home little party with snacks and stuff. I had some presents, like welcome home presents, and yeah, it was really lovely once we got home. It felt really refreshing. 7 weeks we've been home and we've absolutely loved it. It's just been so nice to be together. I managed to get started on my YouTube channel, which is something I wanted to do for ages, and I'm just so glad to be home, and I feel so grateful and lucky that I went through that whole experience on the ship, and I felt so safe and I felt very well looked after the whole time. I personally had overall a really good experience of Royal Caribbean during coronavirus, and I feel very lucky to have been in the situation I was in, because I know others weren't as lucky. Some ships didn't get balconies, for example. We were very, very, very blessed, and I just can't thank the company enough. And now I'm home. I went through all of that. It totally was worth it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. And hopefully I'll see you back here for my next video. Bye guys!